At the moment, because I don't have enough wired networking in the server corner, I've dropped in an unmanaged switch just to make things easier, so that I've got enough network connections. But what I really want to do is use a proper managed switch, which I do have. So I'm going to be messing around with that in a bit. But before I do that, I have something new to play with. Last week, I bought myself a KVM. The purpose of which was to be able to run my new server, my workstation, and my old server off a single monitor, keyboard and mouse, obviously. Which means I had 3 keyboards to choose from to use as the console keyboard. Unfortunately, I don't like any of them. So, we got rid of those. And I bought one of these instead. It's a mechanical keyboard, which means it's got actual little switches rather than membrane or some sort of weird, cheap, nasty thing. It is only a cheap one, and the lighting appears to be somewhat colourful for my taste. The action itself, if we give it a test, it is quite clicky, which is not surprising because it uses blue switches, and blue switches are kind of designed to be clicky. So we can maybe switch off the lights by pressing that button. As you can see, we've got lots of patterns, none of which I really want. It comes with a key puller so that you can pull the keys off and you can clean it, apparently. So if I just pull off a couple of these. Come off. There we go. And if we can get these to actually just switch off for a bit. You can see that they're blue switches, which is a particular type of clicky switch. If I press the button, you can hear them click, and there's nice feedback there that tells me that I've pressed the button. I haven't decided yet whether I entirely approve of the clicky switches or whether I'd want some other type of switch. I think it's possible to swap the switches, even if that means desoldering them and replacing them with different ones. If I were to replace them, then it would probably be with some sort of silent switch. Also, the keycaps, they're fine, you know, they're okay, but something that's a bit heavier would be nice. So maybe at some point, if I get bored, now it goes off. At some point, if I get bored, I will maybe swap the keys, or maybe swap the switches, or maybe both. What I'm going to do with the LEDs, on the other hand, I don't know. Do you think I can get used to the sort of hideousness that is this light show? guess there are RGB LEDs. Why would you do it the other way? I'll think about that. Anyway, really ought to test it a bit, hadn't I?
Welcome to Recon 3 from Superior Software.
So those keys are really touchy. As you can see from the game, I kept overshooting where I was meant to be going. It may be that I'm not used to playing on mechanical keyboards as opposed to slightly more spongier ones with less definite action, but yeah, I found that hard. But it was fun. So the next bit of fun is my old TP-Link switch. I've had this probably 8 years, and I used it for the first couple of years. All the configuration I did through the web interface. And I've never attempted to access a switch using the console. So, we have a console cable. And what we're going to do is attempt to get into the switch using said cable. Oops. And hopefully it won't prove too cumbersome. So that end goes in there. And this end goes into the USP. And we're ready to go. I've plugged the console cable into this switch, and now I need to find out which device it is. So if I remember, so it's called TTY USB 0, which is not surprising. Next up, I don't actually know if this is in the repository for Fedora or not. I guess we'll find out. I'm not on Fedora. No hardware, flow control, change the speed to 9600. I think that's pretty standard for routers. So in theory at least. So we do Control I, Z. And we want local echo on. Well, okay. So I think I'm into the router, but it doesn't work the same way as the Cisco router. So I'm just going to try a quick change. There's a password. What the is that gonna be? Should we try admin? Admin. Admin. It's been a few years since I've used this router. And I don't know what the password is. Let me go and see if there's a default password. Default password and default username is admin, and I've changed it. That's a problem. Okay, so the next step is how do we reset the password on these things? So we need to get into the switch during the boot operation to change the passwords. In order to get into the boot menu, one has to restart the switch, or log into the switch first, restart it, and then almost immediately press Control B, which is, well, if you don't know, you don't know, do you? And there you can see when I actually bought the switch in 2011, which does sound about right. It's literally sat in the cupboard for 5 or 6 years not being used. Okay, so the command FTP says configure the remote host IP, the username and user password. So I'm going to try that. The username is switch, so I think, so we've got an IP address. It's obviously giving itself an IP address because there's no cables plugged in. User admin. That didn't work. FTP. Let's try reboot. Admin. Oh, we're in. Resolved. Now all I've got to do is go and read the manual on how the switch works. I may be some time.